Yes, as I was telling you in the previous video, grade 10, I've already informed 12, grade 10, you also follow the same thing. Like, you know, I'm uploading videos as and when I get time, I'm uploading videos. So I would like you to follow one lesson per day. Follow your schedule and and do one lesson per day. And that particular afternoon, as according to your schedule, that particular afternoon, send me your answers on Google Classes. So I would like you to follow that. I'm happy that but I don't, only Eknath came up with a few doubts, and I'm happy that, I believe that the others are also taking things seriously just as he is. I would like you to, send me, if you find me going a little too fast, or if you're not able to, understand the video, I mean, the audio is not very clear, please let us know, because most of our teachers are recording here. So if you can give us your feedback about the clarity, it will be nice. I know the board is slightly not very clear, but that we cannot do anything about. But if my voice is okay, and if you're able to understand, and if you're able to hear clearly, that's fine. All right. So I'm also going to upload a few worksheets, like comprehension worksheets, grammar worksheets. I'll be uploading them also on Google Classes. I'd like you to do one worksheet per day. Whenever you have your English schedule, you are supposed to do one worksheet a day. If I'm going to put up comprehension this afternoon, I may put up 4 or 5 or even 10, but don't get worried, don't get bothered that ma'am has uploaded 10 worksheets at a time. Don't bother, only one worksheet a day. This is what I would like you to do. And when you're doing that, I want you to write it down in a notebook. So when you come to class, I want you to upload it, yes, on Google Sheet, but when you come to class, I want you to have this written work as well with you, because I would like you to have that as a record of what you've been doing, apart from the Google Classes. So when you come to class, I would like you to have a copy of whatever you've been sending me on Google Classes as well in hand. So there are a few things that, when you write, I'm not able to go into detailed corrections. That's why I'm telling you, please make sure you have a written copy, a hard copy of whatever you are uploading on Google Class. So when you come to school on the first day, I will be asking you for all these things. So make sure follow it very meticulously, do it in a very organized manner. Make sure your work is neat. I will not take any untidy work. Remember that. All right. So now, since we were touching on reported speech, and Eknath was asking me for a few doubts, I've already clarified that for you on the previous video. I thought, why not we finish off active and passive voice as well. Actually, I wanted to do a lesson with you, but let me finish active and passive voice, and then I'll go on with the next lesson. Now, since we have already touched on tenses, you know the different tenses, and we've been doing reported speech. Now, let's go on with voice. All right. Now, when I say voice, what is this voice all about? What has a voice in English? Now, when I talk about voice, now which part of speech am I talking about? Now, that is very important. Which part of speech in a sentence has a voice? All right, that's the major question. Now, reported speech is a person says something, another person is reporting it. That's why it's called reported speech. Okay, the direct speech has the person's actual words, and the indirect speech has the person's words reported by another person in his own words. That's why there's a change of tense. Nearness, farness, okay, come becomes go, and now becomes then, this becomes that. All those changes. We've been looking at all that in detail in class. I would like you to recall all that. Now we are going to go on to voices. Now when I say voice, I have a voice, you have a voice. So which part of the sentence has a voice? So that is the question all about. Which part of the sentence, which part of speech has the voice? The verb. All right. Now when I say active, well, what do I mean when I say you are a very hyperactive person, or you are a very active person? I keep doing a lot of things. That is what I mean when I say you're an active person. You're an active person. When I say you're very passive in class, why don't you open up? I mean that you don't respond. You keep very quiet, very silent. So passive. So we've understood what active means and what passive means. Active is when the person is doing some action, and passive is when the person remains very quiet. Now, which person are we talking about? We are talking about the subject. When I talk about subject, I'm not talking about English, maths, chemistry, physics, and biology. Not that subject. I'm talking about the subject in a particular sentence. So when I talk about someone or something, in that particular sentence, whatever I'm talking about, whoever I'm talking about, that particular person or that particular thing becomes the subject. For example, if I say, I am teaching you grammar today. Who am I talking about? I. So that particular pronoun I is the subject of that sentence. So now we are going to go into active and passive voice. Now you understand the meaning of active and you understand the meaning of passive. So let's go on. Now, there is one particular thing that you should remember. Transitive verbs are active, and intransitive verbs, transitive verbs are the only verbs in the sentences which can be converted to passive sentences. Intransitive verbs cannot be, changed into passive voice. Now you might ask me, now what is this transitive verb and what is this intransitive verb all about? Transitive meaning transfer. When an action is transferred from the subject to the object, then the verb is transitive. For example, I say Ravi kicked the ball. A very simple sentences we take, so it will be easy for you to understand. So when I say Ravi kicked the ball, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Ravi, which means Ravi is the subject. The noun is the subject, and the verb kicked, okay, shows you the action. So that's the verb. So now when you have to find out the object in a particular sentence. Every sentence which has an object, okay, then the verb is transitive in nature. Now, how to find the object? After the verb, ask the question what or whom. Only what or whom. Only these two questions can be asked to find the object. Now, let me go make it very simple. You ask it this way. You don't have to be bothered about your sentence construction, because I want you to find out the object clearly. So, do it the way I am doing it. So, Ravi kicked what? So I ask the question, what or whom? Only these two questions can be asked. So Ravi kicked what? What? Now you get the answer. Ravi kicked what? The ball. So the ball becomes the object here. Now, the ball. Now when I say what, I get the direct object. If I get an answer to the question what, I get a direct object here. And if I get an answer to whom, it becomes the indirect object. For example, let me give it to you now. She, okay, my mother gave me 500 rupees. Alright, now look at the subject. Who are we talking about? My mother. So my mother is the subject. The verb, the action word is gave. Now here you ask. After the verb, ask the question. My mother gave what? And you can also ask, my mother gave whom? So what and whom? So now, my mother gave what? 500 rupees. So this becomes the direct object. And you can also ask, my mother gave whom? Me. So me is the indirect object. So now in a sentence, you may have, both the direct as well as the indirect objects. You can have both the objects in the same sentence itself. There are examples like that. So now when I look at my mother gave what, I have the direct object, and my mother gave whom, I have the indirect object. Indirect objects usually are pronouns, object pronouns. All right. Now, when you look at this sentence, now let's go back. Now we found out how to find the object. Now we know how to find the subject. Who or what we are talking about in the sentence is the subject, and the action word we have, of course. And after the verb, you ask the question what to get the direct object, and who to get the indirect object. If you have the object, means there is a transfer of what? Of action. So Ravi kicked the ball. There is a transfer of action from the subject to the object. So the action is transferred. That is why it is called a transitive verb. Transitive. Transitive verb. Now, for example, and remember, only transitive verbs can be converted from the active voice to the passive voice. Now, if I say, now this is, most of you would make these mistakes, so please watch carefully, listen carefully. The river flows quickly. Okay, let me say the river flows slowly or steadily. Okay, now what are we talking about? The river. So we have the subject. Flows, the verb. Some of us, you know what we'll do? Quickly we'll say, ma'am, steadily is the object. Now that is wrong. Steadily here is the adverb. It tells you how the action of the verb is done, how the verb is, you know, it modifies the verb. So here it becomes the adverb. That's why I'm telling you, always ask these questions after the verb. Who or what? So when I ask who, do I get an answer? There's no answer. When I ask what or whom, I don't get answers. Which means there is no object. When there is no object, a sentence cannot be changed from the active to the passive voice, because there is no transfer of action. So these verbs are called intransitive verbs. Intransitive. Intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs cannot be changed from the active to the passive voice. Only transitive verbs, that means actions which are transferred from the subject to the object. Only those sentences, only transitive verb sentences can be converted from the active to the passive voice. I hope you understand this. This is the basic. If you don't understand this, redo this video again. Go from the beginning, listen carefully, then continue with this video. I'm going to clean the board. If you want to rewrite, you can do so. See, I'm not mentioning any date in my videos. I'm not writing any date on the board because I want you to do it at your pace, according to your schedule. That's why I'm not putting up dates here. All right, so let's go on with the... Right, let's go on with this voice. I'm going to take the same simple sentence that I gave you. Ravi kicked the ball. Now you know, only if the sentence contains a transitive verb. Transitive means what? Action passed from the subject, transferred from the subject to the object. Only these verbs can be changed from the active to the passive voice. So I'm going to take that same simple sentence and we're going to do it. Now remember the tenses. Tenses are very, very important here as well. Alright, so let's go on with tenses first. Let's have a quick recap of tenses. As I told you, to remember verb with S, without S, sing, sings, talk, talks, walk, walks, jump, jumps, all these are present. Alright, sang, it's in the past tense. I am singing, present continuous. Am plus ing form. So, past continuous was singing. Future continuous will be singing. And then you have present perfect. What's present perfect? Has or have plus past participle. I have sung. That is present perfect. Had sung. That is past perfect. Okay. I will have sung. Future perfect. So all these tenses we have already done. That's why I went a little fast. Now listen very carefully. I'm going to do voices in an elaborate manner. All right. So now I'm going to go take up the same sentence, the same simple sentence that I've given you. Ravi Ravi kicked the ball. Alright, let's go on to this. Ravi kicks the ball. If it's not visible, at least listen to me. Okay. Now, subject, Ravi. So, subject, kicked, verb, who, what, the question after the verb. So, I get the ball, I get the answer to what. So, this is the direct object. If I have the answer to whom, I get the indirect object. Some sentences will have both direct as well as indirect object. Now look at this now. Ravi kicked the ball. So the action is transferred from Ravi to the ball. Therefore, the verb is transitive in nature. Now it is active. Why? Because the subject is doing the action. When the subject does the action, the verb is in the active voice. I want you to remember this. When the subject is doing the action, what is in the active voice? When the verb is in the active voice. When the subject is doing the action, the verb is in the active voice. I repeat, listen carefully. When the subject is doing the action, the verb is in the active voice. Only when the action is transferred from the subject to the object, only when the verb is transitive, it can be changed to the passive voice. Here, the action is transferred from Ravi to the ball. So, this verb is transitive. When the verb is transitive, the sentence can be changed from the active voice to the passive voice. Got it? Now how do we change from the active to the passive voice? Now, the ball will come to the subject place. So, I take up the object to the subject place. And I take the subject to the object place. So, I take up Ravi to the object place. Now look at this. Whenever we have the passive voice, we always have the past participle form. Past participle, the third form. Sing, sang, sung. Run, ran, run. Come, came, come. So I want you to learn the three forms of verbs. I've given you a small part in the previous worksheet that I've given you too. Alright. So now here it's kick. Kick, kicked, kicked. That's the third form. So let's give a little space here and write the verb kicked here. Alright. Now look at this. Ravi kicked the ball. Now what tense is this? Kicked is in the past tense. Simple past tense. Now remember, in the direct to the indirect speech, we change tenses. But in active and passive voice, there is no change of tense. There is no change of tense. Remember this. This is the main, thing that you have to remember. In active and passive voice, you cannot change the tense. Direct and indirect tenses will change. From direct, if it is in the present, it changes to the past and the indirect. But in the active passive voice, the tenses have to remain the same. Now, when I say this is in the past tense, first let's write down the helping verbs. Alright, so I'm going to write down the helping verbs here. Present, if you look at it, all the helping verbs that you know, we can just list it down. Is, are, am, has, have, do, does. These are all the helping verbs in the present tense. Alright, if I've left out anything, you add on. Now, past tense. When I look at the past tense, what are the helping verbs that I have? Was, were, had, did, These are all the auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs in the past tense. Of course, for the future, you know, will, shall, that's enough, right? Now look at this. Now here I've already marked it as the past tense. So it is in the past tense. So I cannot afford to change the tense. So I write the ball and I've written the third form, which is very mandatory. You have the past participle form here of the verb. So now this has to be filled in by the past, the auxiliary verb. Now the ball is singular. So let's find out one verb in the past tense which is singular in form. Now was is singular. So I take ball was kicked. Now something missing here. So you have by whom? By whom? By Ravi. Because you have to add on the subject goes to the object place. So the ball was kicked by Ravi. Now you can ask me, ma'am, why should I learn active and passive voice, ma'am? Why should you learn active and passive voice? Direct and indirect, yes, ma'am. You tell me so many things. I go to class. I have to tell them that you said this, you said that. All that is fine, ma'am. But why should I learn active and passive voice? Can you think of something and let me know? Think about it. Okay, I'll tell you this in the next video, but I want you to tell me why you have to learn active and passive voice. But let's learn the rules now. I'll let you know. Let me see what response I get from you, and I'll also tell you why it has to be used. Now, the ball was kicked by Ravi. Now, this is in the simple past. The simple past is changed from active to passive. Now, why do you say this is passive? The ball is not doing any action. The subject here is the ball. It does not do any action. Therefore, the verb is in the passive voice. The verb is here, was kicked. Is in the passive voice. Alright? So, when the action is done by the subject, then your verb is in the active voice. When the action is not done by the subject, or the subject is very quiet, it remains passive. Passive means quiet, no action done. Then it is in the passive voice. When the subject is doing the action, the verb is in the active voice. When the subject is not doing any action, when the subject is passive, the verb is in the passive voice. I hope I made that very clear. Alright, now take this down quickly. I'll give you 1 minute. Take this down quickly because I'm going to make changes in the same sentence and deal with the other tenses. Quickly take that down. So, let's go on now. I'm going to change this verb kicked to the present tense. I'm going to say Ravi. Can I say Ravi kicked the ball? It's singular, the subject. So the verb with S is singular. So I say Ravi kicks the ball. So when I say Ravi kicks the ball, alright, now the tenses changes. Yeah, the tense changes. So Ravi kicks is present tense. So now from the past, we used kicked, but here we are using kicks. That is present tense. Now, what will the change be? It's the same thing. The ball, the object comes to the subject place. Ravi, the subject goes to the object place. This by remains there. The thing is, I told you there is no change in the tense. So, obviously, this was has to change. So, it has to be in the present tense. So, and the ball is singular. So, which auxiliary verb will be, the apt one is. Therefore, I use the ball is kicked by Ravi. This board, if it doesn't write, it doesn't work. So, kindly bear with me. I'll write it with the other one. I hope it's clear. Alright, so the ball is kicked by Ravi. I told you we cannot afford to change tenses from the when we talk about when we deal with voices. So kicks here, simple present. So we've used the ball is kicked by Ravi. Okay, you can take this down. So this is in the present tense, and this is also in the present tense. The past, the kicked one, I gave you the sentence with kicked. That sentence is in the past tense. Was kicked is also in the past tense. Here, kicks is kicked both in the present tense. I'm going to erase and make this future. So what will it be in the future tense? Ravi? Ravi? Will kick. Ravi will kick. That is future tense. This is in the future. This is in the future tense now. So I have to stick to the future tense only. So kicked is there. So helping verb will be the ball will. Now I cannot say will kicked. So something missing there. You have to use the word be. Will be kicked by Ravi. So you use the word be in between. So will be plus the past participle. That's in the future passive. Alright. So will here, future, will be kicked here is again in the future tense. We stick to the same tense. Now, let's go on to the next tense. Supposing I say, Ravi is kicking the ball. ING form is there, therefore it is present continuous tense. Right? When I say is kicking, the action is going on. The same action, the same tense, the action has to be in the passive voice in the same tense. Now, how are we going to do this? Same thing. The object comes to the subject place, subject goes to the object place, kicked is there, by is there, all that's fine. Now we have to look at the verb. So, if I'm going to have is, so it has to be present, but it is continuous, ing form. Therefore, the ball, I have is again. But I cannot say the ball is kicked because it will become the simple present tense. Because I say Ravi kicks the ball becomes Ravi, the ball is kicked by Ravi. So if I write is kicked here, does not make sense. So here it is ing form. Therefore, to compensate on this, we use is being kicked by Ravi. Therefore, this is again in the present continuous passive. This is present continuous active. This is present continuous passive. Same thing. If I say Ravi was kicking, this becomes past continuous. If I say this, then naturally this part has to change because it's in the past continuous. So this will become was ing form. So to put down being, was being kicked by. So this is present continuous passive, this past continuous passive. Was being kicked. Is being kicked. Is being kicked is present continuous passive. Was being kicked is past continuous passive. I hope you understand. Now, if we go on to our perfect tenses, present perfect and past perfect, what are the helping verbs that you have? Present perfect you have has and have, and the past perfect you have only the verb had. right? So now I'm going to go on to the present perfect. Ravi has kicked the ball. Now, same thing, the ball. I have to give a space for the present perfect passive. So the ball, one verb, I'll tell you what verb, but the past participle has to be used. So kick, kick, kicks, the third form of the verb is used. Now, the ball, what is the present perfect? This is present perfect has plus past participle as present perfect. So this also has to be in the present perfect. So the two helping verbs are has and have. Has for singular, have for plural. Remember with the S, singular, have without S. Remember it that way because I know you are having a little problems with this. So singular and plural. Has singular, have plural. Now the ball is singular, so I use has. The ball, now look at this. The ball has kicked by Ravi. It does not make sense. The ball is not going to kick anybody. Okay? So if it is present perfect, all perfect tenses will take the word been, just like all ing forms take been. Okay? You know, Ravi is kicking the ball. Ball is being kicked by Ravi. Ravi was kicking the ball was being kicked by Ravi. All ing forms will take been. But all perfect tenses will take the word been. Alright? So the ball has been kicked by Ravi. That is present perfect active, present perfect passive. And it's very clear. If I have had here, that will become past perfect. Therefore, this had will also be had here because both singular and plural both will take had. So that will be past perfect active. So be past perfect passive. So this sentence is in the active voice because the subject is doing the action. This sentence is in the passive voice because the subject, the ball, is not doing any action. It is passive, meaning it's quiet. It is the sufferer of the action. Something is done to the subject. Therefore, the verb is in the passive. So this is had plus kicked, past perfect active, and this is had been kicked, past perfect passive. Alright? Yes? Now, any modal verbs, okay? Any modal verb. Supposing I say, Ravi may kick the ball, or Ravi should kick the ball, or Ravi can kick the ball. Any modal verb will go with the future tense. Ravi will kick the ball will be kicked by Ravi. But the word be, the same thing goes with all modals. So the ball will be kicked by Ravi. Okay? So, or here it is may, so it will be may be kicked by Ravi. It is the same as the future tense. If you have Ravi will kick the ball, you have Ravi, the ball will be kicked by Ravi. So, any modal verb, you can say Ravi may kick the ball may be kicked by Ravi. Or Ravi can kick the ball can be kicked by Ravi. So, those are with modals. So, remember this. It's very important, children. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can ask me on Google. I would like you to go through this in detail, and I'll put up a worksheet on this. So I want you to learn this first, then I'll send you the worksheet. So with this, I think I'll end this class. I'll see you later in another class.